11 News starts with breaking news.
Breaking right now, Governor Tom Wolf once again calling on state lawmakers to start the process of legalizing recreational marijuana.
That's right, Liz. The governor has asked the General Assembly several times to make this a priority and says there's been no movement on this in Harrisburg. The governor says legalizing marijuana offers the same potential for economic growth that the Farm Bill of 2018 did for hemp farming and the CBD industry.
When hemp and marijuana were banned, we didn't just lose jobs. We lost decades of research, opportunities, innovation, and economic growth. Even worse, marijuana criminalization laws have disproportionately harmed many people in Pennsylvania.
The governor pointed to the success of the medical marijuana industry and the overwhelming support that Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman found when he spoke with people during a statewide listening tour.
A mailman is off the job on unpaid leave, accused of dumping mail in the garbage. At least one mail-in election ballot request was among what was found trashed. Special agents are now investigating. And the discarded mail was found here at this counseling center in Lawrenceville. The items included a mail-in ballot request and dozens of political advertisements. Security cameras outside the facility were rolling, showing the worker throwing away the mail more than once.
Caught on video the postal worker who, after delivering our mail, went back into their vehicle and took something out of their vehicle, put it in the trash, and this happened over a number of days.
We reached out to the Postal Service for more information. They told us in part, quote, the mail was intended for delivery in the Bloomfield area of Pittsburgh and was already returned to USPS and delivered to customers. The employee is currently in a non-duty, non-pay status.
The state is still looking for people to work the polls on Election Day, and that has sparked a movement to get young people to step up to the task. Channel 11's Mike Holden spoke with local members of the Poll Hero Project about why it is needed now more than ever.
The election is now just 21 days out, and the need for poll workers is growing. One particular group is hoping to get a younger generation involved so each and every vote counts and matters. Making sure the polls are well-staffed come Election Day. It's the mission of a nationwide movement called the Poll Hero Project. The organization is actively recruiting young people in Pittsburgh, in particular high school and college-age kids, to sign up to work the polls. As the COVID-19 pandemic continues to play out, officials say it is essential for young people to get involved, especially since more than half of the U.S.'s poll workers are 60 years or older. The concern is those veteran workers will be sitting out over fear of contracting the coronavirus, and there will be a shortage when it comes to staffing. Students tell us they had to get involved.
We need young people to basically fill their shoes this year. You know, a lot of older people don't feel comfortable coming out with coronavirus the same way they might not want to go to the grocery store. And that's created real issues. When there aren't enough people to work the polls, polling stations close.
And if you're interested in becoming a poll hero, we have all of the details posted on WPXI.com as well as the WPXI News app. I'm now working to talk with cybersecurity experts about concerns over the election and the expected high demand come November for Channel 11 News starting at 5 o'clock tonight. Reporting in Ross this afternoon, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
I feel so powerful. I'll walk into that audience. I'll walk in there. I'll kiss everyone in that audience.
President Trump is back on the campaign trail not long after being released from the hospital. He again, though, told a crowd of supporters in Florida last night that he is immune to COVID-19. Now, he did make that claim, though, as scientists confirmed a Nevada man was infected twice with coronavirus, but that is the first confirmed case of reinfection here in the United States and the 5th worldwide. The 2 infections in the Nevada man occurred about 6 weeks apart. The 25-year-old had much more serious symptoms from that second infection. Now, the cases underscore the importance of social distancing and wearing masks. NBC's Tracy Potts has more on the president's first rally since being diagnosed with COVID-19.
It's great to be back in my home state, Florida.
President Trump before a largely maskless crowd at his first rally since being hospitalized with COVID-19. His doctor now says he's tested negative.
Now they say I'm immune. I feel so powerful. I'll walk into that audience. I'll walk in there, I'll kiss everyone in that audience.
Joe Biden in Ohio chiding the president for returning to the campaign trail so soon.
His reckless personal conduct since his diagnosis has been unconscionable. The longer Donald Trump is president, the more reckless he seems to get.
The Trump campaign also under fire for this ad.
I can't imagine that anybody could be doing more.
Infectious disease expert Dr. Anthony Fauci says his praise for the coronavirus response is out of context.
I think it's really unfortunate and really disappointing that they did that. It's so clear that I'm not a political person.
All this with COVID cases on the rise in 30 states, some hitting new one-day records and hospitalizations, and with millions already voting.
It could have rained, it could have snowed. I would not care.
You're not going anywhere.
I'm not going anywhere.
Long lines up to 7 hours here in Georgia, not stopping determined voters. Tracy Potts, NBC News.
The president will be back in Pennsylvania tonight for a rally at the John Murtha Airport in Johnstown. Masks are mandated under an order from Governor Wolf.
The State Department of Health just released an update on the coronavirus and its cases, and the upward trend, sadly, is continuing. There were more than 1,300 new cases reported since yesterday. Yesterday, the state reported a two-day total of 2,254 cases, and more than 1,700 new cases were reported statewide on Saturday. In Allegheny County, there were 74 new cases reported since yesterday, and cases in Westmoreland County are on the rise. We know many of you may be wondering what is leading to the big jump in cases there. Take a look at this graph of state data. It shows daily case counts over the past 2 weeks, and you can see a big increase since the start of October, and the number of hospitalizations also noted there. Commissioner Gina Sorelli saying on Facebook that there was an average of 3 to 6 hospitalizations. That was all summer long, and now 34 people in the county are hospitalized with COVID. She says they do have a ways to go until hospitals are overwhelmed, but the number is still increasing quickly. We're working to find out more about what is causing that rise in hospital stays, and you can look for developing details starting tonight at 5 on Channel 11 News.
Meantime, a second COVID-19 vaccine trial is on hold after a participant got sick. It comes just weeks after Johnson & Johnson started that final stage of human testing. The company did not reveal details about the illness, citing privacy laws, and said illnesses, accidents, and other adverse events, quote, are an expected part of any clinical study, especially large studies.
A man is asking for prayers from his hospital bed. He was shot trying to stop people from breaking into a car outside a church in Beaver County. Trewan Marshall was shot Sunday. The bullet is still lodged in his neck. He's a leader at the New Hope Community Church in Ambridge, and he had just left services. He posted a message from his hospital bed saying, "Please pray for me. All I did was walk out of church. Doesn't make sense." Police tell us an officer who showed up on the scene fired his weapon, but did not hit the people who were running from the scene. One person, we're told, is in custody.
All right, well, here's something you don't hear often. North Franklin Township in Washington County plans to cut property taxes by 15%. And the township is staying with state police patrols. So neighbors there, they were sent a survey, and township officials announced this morning that residents voted by a 2-to-1 margin to remain with state police coverage and to then not contract with a nearby police department contract. A vote to accept the survey results is expected tonight, and the tax cut would go into effect next year.
Distressing not to get a straight answer. So let me try again. Do you agree with Justice Scalia's view that Roe was wrongly decided?
Senator, I completely understand why you are asking the question, but again, I can't pre-commit or say, yes, I'm going in with some agenda, because I'm not. I don't have any agenda.
The Senate confirmation hearing for the Supreme Court moved into a new phase today. Judge Coney Barrett facing direct questions from lawmakers, some friendly, some not so friendly. NBC's Susan McGinnis has the latest on what's expected to be another long day of testimony.
A history-making day on Capitol Hill as senators have their chance to quiz or grill Supreme Court nominee Amy Coney Barrett. Chairman Lindsey Graham setting the tone for Republicans.
I would say you're one of the greatest picks President Trump could have made, and from the conservative side of the aisle, you're one of the most qualified people of your generation.
Justice Barrett, former clerk for Justice Scalia, asserting herself early on.
If I'm confirmed, you would not be getting Justice Scalia. You would be getting Justice Barrett.
If confirmed, she would give the court a 6-3 conservative majority. Both Republicans and Democrats aware that she could be a deciding vote for any challenges to abortion rights.
The tenets of your faith mean a lot to you personally, is that correct?
That is true.
You've chosen to raise your family in the Catholic faith, is that correct?
That's true.
Can you set aside whatever Catholic beliefs you have regarding any issue before you?
I can. I have done that in my time on the 7th Circuit. If I stay on the 7th Circuit, I'll continue to do that. If I'm confirmed to the Supreme Court, I will do that still.
Democrats have been careful to challenge her views from the bench without attacking her religious beliefs. Judge Barrett promising to stick to the letter of the law when it comes to the Constitution.
I interpret the Constitution as a law, that I interpret its text as text, and I understand it to have the meaning that it had at the time people ratified it.
But that holds vastly different meaning for Republicans and Democrats inside the hearing room and outside.
No confirmation before inauguration.
Demonstrators on both sides making their voices heard.
Waymaker, miracle worker.
Even though the nomination of Amy Coney Barrett is on a fast track to confirmation in the next few weeks. Susan McGinnis, NBC News, Washington.
No one should have any fears of going anywhere by themselves.
Pennsylvania's second lady says a stranger verbally assaulted her. Her message to the attacker.
We have survived so many different things.
And that includes the 1918 Spanish flu pandemic. Now up next, how the original Oyster House is planning to survive COVID-19 as it turns 150 years old.
And we're seeing that sunshine come out across the area. I'm going to let you know what to expect this afternoon and how cool it'll get later on tonight.
And we've been, all have been forced to make changes because of the coronavirus. The healthy habits that are created, though, by being in quarantine.
When news is happening near you, Channel 11 is there.
Aliquippa, Coriopolis, Moon. We cover news everywhere you live.
That's what makes Channel 11 News different.
We're in McCandless, Cranberry, Butler. For news from where you live,
watch Channel 11 News at 5.
You're streaming WPXI now. Channel 11 expands its streaming live newscasts. When other stations are national, Channel 11 News is local, right here at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. on WPXI Now.
Channel 11 News at 5, covering more news happening in Butler County.
All right, welcome back. Well, a Washington County man was rescued from his burning home this morning. Take a look. Firefighters say a kitchen fire spread, trapping the man on the second floor of that home. This on Burgettstown Road in Mount Pleasant. It was around midnight, and crews were told used a ladder truck to help get him down through a second-story window. The man was taken to the hospital to get checked out for smoke inhalation.
Hate is learned, but the unlearning is also possible.
That's a message from Pennsylvania's second lady after she says a stranger verbally assaulted her and called her a racial slur. We first told you about the confrontation over the weekend. Now Giselle Fetterman has some words for the woman who confronted her. She says the verbal attack began at the Aldi in Forest Hills and then it continued right into the parking lot. Fetterman is from Brazil and tells us she's no stranger to racism.
For someone to yell at you, you don't belong, you're this, in public, so bold, I was immediately like an 8-year-old girl, you know, like just terrified. I hope that this is a positive moment for her where she can recognize that she is carrying some really sad feelings and hateful feelings and maybe work towards changing that.
State police are now investigating.
The Port Authority is renewing focus on diversity. The transit agency announced it's creating a position for a director of diversity and inclusion. That person will work on hiring and employee relations and operations that affect customers. Back in September, you may remember more than a dozen people protested outside the Port Authority's office over a policy that barred employees from wearing Black Lives Matter masks to work. Port Authority had said the policy is not directed at any specific message. All right, certainly not ideal here. Someone found razor blades in a bag of pizza dough that they bought at a store in Maine. Police say they caught the guy responsible. They say apparently he had punctured the bags of dough to get the blades inside. Turns out he actually used to work for the pizza dough maker, Portland Pie.
The blades were broken and put into the pizza dough. It could be anybody that opens it up and gets hurt.
So far, 2 bags of dough with razor blades have been discovered. It's not known how many bags were tampered with, but that grocery store that sold the dough is now recalling the product.
Carnegie Mellon is expanding a survey that it's been doing on COVID-19 symptoms. The school's Delphi research group has been collecting real-time data from Facebook users on their experience with COVID. The survey now includes questions on how people are responding to recommendations such as using face masks and access to testing. That information is being used to develop localized forecasts of COVID-19 activity. Americans are facing challenges introduced by the pandemic head-on, and there are a lot of positive results. But they're also struggling with stress and anxiety. NBC's Sarah Dalloff breaks down this new survey.
Don't really measure. Brittany Bunker has been cooking up a storm during the pandemic for her family and others.
It was a way to bring love in the form of food to people.
She's not alone. A recent survey by Parade Magazine and the Cleveland Clinic finds COVID-19 hasn't just impacted health, it's shaped behaviors. 62% of Americans say they've adopted a positive lifestyle change as a result of the pandemic, like cooking at home, exercising, or getting more sleep.
This really seemed to show that our society has a lot of resilience. People are willing to look for the positive. People are willing to try to find changes that they can make in their own lives.
The survey also indicates the pandemic has strengthened family connections. 78% say they now value their relationships more, and 65% have reevaluated how they spend their time.
It's given a lot of people the opportunity to look at those folks who are right in front of them.
But it's not all positive. The past 6 months have taken a toll on mental health. More than half of adults and 3 out of 4 18 to 34-year-olds say they've experienced stress, anxiety, depression, or isolation since March.
But the first thing you've got to do is recognize it and understand that this is something that you're going through, and it's okay. understand it, and then be able to get help.
Half of respondents say they don't believe life will ever go back to what it was pre-pandemic, a new normal with new highs and lows. Sarah Dolph, NBC News.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Well, good afternoon. I wanted to update you on our autumn rainfall, and for the months of the fall season, we actually use September, October, and November for climate record-keeping purposes. So since September 1st, we have only seen 1.25 inches. Now, this latest update does not include the 1/10 of an inch we had out there this morning, but we're going to get that update today around 5:30 from the National Weather Service. But this at least gives you an idea of just how much below average we are. We're still a little shy of 3 inches below average. The average for up until this point is almost 4 inches. So we, certainly need more rain across the area. Look at the picture, though, outside. It is a beautiful afternoon shaping up for us. You can see the beautiful gold colors on the trees in the tower cam. It's 56 degrees, and we do have a breeze. It's 57 in Greensburg, 57 in Indiana, warmer in Beaver at 62, Washington at 57. Behind the front that brought the rain this morning, we've got some drier air, so it does feel a lot more comfortable to you outside. Our dew points are down in the 40s and 50s, which is dry. Here's our winds right now: 14 in Greensburg, 10 in Washington. So that wind will be breezy from time to time today. Occasional gusts up to 20 miles per hour are expected out of the northwest. Northwest wind is a little bit of a cooler wind for us, so the high temperatures with the sunshine should climb into the 60s today, mid 60s to upper 60s. And by 8 o'clock, it's a clear sky. If you were doing a little gardening, fantastic weather. You may just need a light jacket or a long sleeve shirt if you're out and about doing that in the yard for today. Tonight, it's going to be a colder night. This morning, we had low 50s. Tomorrow morning, we're looking at 45 under a clear sky tonight. Southwest wind turns lighter at 3 to 8 miles per hour, so you're going to need a coat before you head out the door tomorrow morning. Here's our storm tracker maps here as we head through the 12 o'clock hour, and the clouds will continue to push down south out of the area. Lots of sunshine late day. Continuing that clear sky into the evening and overnight period as well. We are looking at plenty of sunshine for the day on Wednesday. See that clock animating? We have a lot of sunshine, maybe some high clouds passing through the area on Wednesday. High pressure will be in control of our weather, so we'll keep it dry. The difference between the 2 days is that tomorrow we're actually going to have a wind out of the southwest, which is more of a warming wind for us, so the temperature should be a little bit better. Highs about 68 in Greensburg, Uniontown, Pittsburgh, 68 in Washington, and near 70 degrees in Beaver. I'll let you know how cold it's getting across the rest of the area for tomorrow morning coming up the next half hour. In the meantime, we do have Thursday and Friday another weather system pushing through, so some showers around in the evening after a warm day. Showery skies on Friday, cooler as well, 52 down to 34 still the forecast into Saturday morning. Your weekend always in view. Have warmed it up a little bit. So the latest model data really drying things out and warming things up. So about 55 Saturday and 60 on Sunday. That's compared to about 50 and 55-ish is what we've had in the last couple of days. So we've kind of bumped that temperature up a bit for you.
We might as well just close up again because we're not going to be able to survive off just the limited capacity that we already have.
Up next, why one of the things helping restaurants survive right now could also force them to close.
And how Microsoft shut down a big hacking operation that could have impacted the election.
Hey! Attention, all personnel.
We got to nip it!
Go on!
Because we are there!
I know nothing! Nothing!
You can find MeTV on Comcast 190, 207, or 1169. Watch Catherine Amenta and Gordon Lesh on Channel 11 Morning News.
Microsoft took down a big hacking operation that they say could have impacted the election. The company shut down TrickBot. The malware network was used by criminals to launch cyber and ransomware attacks. Microsoft says they disabled its IP addresses.
A family in Phoenix found a piece of metal in their backyard, but as it turned out, it had actually broken off from a plane. The couple spends a lot of time in their backyard playing with the dogs, their 2 little boys, and they're fortunate, they say, that when a hunk of metal crashed to the ground on Friday, no one was outside.
The side that was all white was on the ground, so it just looked kind of like it actually looked to me like a sign with some like zip ties on it or something. Picked it up and flipped it over and saw some of the words and the writing on it, and pretty immediately thought, oh, this fell from an airplane.
And apparently it looked like some type of panel from an airplane bathroom. That family does live just a couple miles away from the Scottsdale airport.
I hope to be around to celebrate the 200th anniversary. We'll see.
The original Oyster House made it through one pandemic a century ago. How Pittsburgh's oldest restaurant plans to survive this time around.
Channel 11 Morning News brings you what's happening now.
We are keeping you up to date on changes with back-to-school plans.
What's new and what's next.
Hour-by-hour look I promised you at the wind gust. Strongest wind gusts just before lunch.
Count on Channel 11 News every morning. WPXI Now. When a major story breaks, this is where you'll find 24-hour coverage. From the Channel 11 newsroom to our crews live in the field, we'll bring you the information you need right now. WPXI Now. Always on when you want the latest on breaking news.
Severe weather coverage where you live.
On Channel 11 News.
If we can't make this outdoor seating work, then, you know, we're just going to be back at square one and we're not going to be able to open.
And I'm not...
Restaurants are doing everything they can to stay open, but some are still running into roadblocks. You're going to feel a big drop in temperatures this weekend, and those cold temperatures aren't the only problems. Channel 11's Jillian Hartman found out what could keep you from eating at your favorite restaurant.
Well, restaurant owners are doing everything they can to maximize on outdoor seating since they're limited indoors under the governor's mandate. But now they're running into problems that may put their business and customers at risk.
Last Sunday night, we had a windstorm. So when I came here early in the morning on Monday, I thought someone stole the tent, and then I had come to find pieces all over the parking lot.
Exclusive photos from Nadine's Diner in Southside showing crumpled up tents caused by windy weather we typically see this time of year.
As the weather's changing, if we can't have the outdoor seating, then, we might as well just close up again, because we're not going to be able to survive off just the limited capacity that we already have.
The owner says this happened 3 times last week. Thankfully, no one got hurt. He now plans to build a tent cemented into the ground so it doesn't happen again. Over in McCandless, the owner of the North Park Lounge is taking a unique approach to keeping outdoor diners warm, using 8 greenhouses.
Knowing that there was potential for the virus to spike again, we came up with the idea, instead of buying another tent or 2 where you have 4 parties in there, if we just had your own individual COVID villas, that we'd like to call them.
He says they've been a good investment and very popular. Each greenhouse has a heater, can seat 4 to 6 people, and it's disinfected in between parties. They are also screwed into a platform so they don't go anywhere. But for those using tents for outdoor seating, a legal analyst says restaurant owners will be held liable if the tent causes damage or injury.
However, what the restaurateur needs to do is inquire with their insurance company to get what's called a rider. And that's an amendment to the original insurance policy they have.
Getting that additional coverage ensures any possible injuries or damages, but it will cost more. Now, attorney Phil DeLucente suggests getting a quote from your insurance company on a rider as soon as possible before the weather gets worse. I'm Jillian Hartman, Channel 11 News.
Students in the Hempfield School District will learn online for the rest of the week after 3 students tested positive for COVID-19. State protocol says that the buildings must close for 5 days, so all sports and extracurricular activities are canceled as well. Plus, all students in the Derry area school district will learn from home for the next 4 days. The district says 5 personnel tested positive for COVID. All sports in the district are canceled through Sunday, but the district hopes to reopen the schools Monday. All right, well, it was certainly rainy this morning. Parts of our area actually saw some heavy downpours, but skies are clearing. Meteorologist Danielle Dozier has her forecast in Severe Weather Center 11.
Liz, it's been a really nice afternoon for us so far. Visible satellite shows the thick cloud cover we had across our area earlier this morning, and those clouds have been fading fast, moving from north to south across the region. The rain is well out of here. We had this morning, we picked up officially 0.12 inches, a little more than 1/10 of an inch of rain. Those skies will continue to clear out, looking for lots of sunshine. You'll need the sunglasses later on. 65 degrees, a northwest wind at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Some of you might even need the sunglasses already as the clouds are clearing fast. But yeah, a little bit of a breeze today. Occasional gusts to about 20 miles per hour can be expected. It's cooling off tonight. I'm going to let you know how cold it's getting in your neighborhood. Some spots may dip into the 30s, so I'll show you that, and we'll talk the next chance for rain coming up in my forecast.
The original Oyster House in Market Square has just turned 150. That makes it the oldest restaurant in Pittsburgh. Being a century and a half old, this isn't the restaurant's first pandemic.
Yeah, Peggy, it survived the Spanish flu outbreak of 1918, and now Channel 11's Aaron Martin shows us how this Market Square icon plans to keep going.
My dad always said to me, you'd be very grateful for this town and for this business because it's allowed us to live the life we've led, and I've never forgotten that.
It's a lesson that stayed in the Grippo family for generations and continues in their operation of a Pittsburgh staple. The original Oyster House celebrated 150 years of operation, cementing its status as the longest-running restaurant in Pittsburgh.
It's a part of Pittsburgh history. I mean, it goes back
not only 150 years, but this space and this little area goes back all the way back to the Fort Pitt days.
The Oyster House faced depressions, downturns, and even a previous pandemic. But few years have been as challenging as 2020, where restaurants and bars have struggled to stay afloat in the age of COVID-19. Through it all, owner Jen Grippo says they're still hanging on.
We have survived so many different things that have happened here in Pittsburgh, and it's really just a testament to how resilient this business can be.
While loyal customers have kept the restaurant going, new customers are still discovering it.
Oh, we had to come. It was 150th anniversary. You know, it's like a Pittsburgh tradition.
It may be his family's first time, but Eric Baeza says it won't be the last.
We have to support local businesses, you know, and anything that's Pittsburgh, owned by Pittsburgh families, we should definitely support, in these times, in these rough times.
Aaron Martin, Channel 11 News.
And yesterday was also a special day for the Grippo family.
It was. They've now owned the Oyster House for 50 years, something they hope will continue well into the future. Vandals fill a fountain at the state capitol with bubble bath. What happened next that forced the state to turn the fountain off?
And for the first time this season, Major League Baseball has fans in the stands. But up next, the team that lost the most money because of the short season.
News is happening in your neighborhood. Channel 11 News is there.
We're in McCandless, Cranberry, and Butler. We cover news everywhere you live, not just downtown. We're in Aliquippa, Coraopolis, and Moon.
Bringing you stories that impact your town. That's what makes Channel 11 News different.
More local news from more neighborhoods. That's a fact. We're in Bethel Park, South Park, and Mount Lebanon. When you want news from where you live,
watch Channel 11 News at 5. What's new?
what's now, and what's next every morning
on Channel 11 Morning News.
Baseball has fans in the stands for the first time. 11,500 fans were allowed through the gates at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas last night to see the Braves take Game 1 against the Dodgers in the National League Championship Series. The World Series is going to be held at this same field. The shortened Major League Baseball season did prove to be very costly, though, for teams. According to our partners at the Pittsburgh Business Times, the Pirates lost $71 million in revenue. The team that lost the most, though, the New York Yankees, with $437 million in losses. Overall, the league lost more than $5 billion.
A water fountain outside the state capitol is empty after it was targeted by vandals. The fountain was drained after someone apparently tampered with the water. Officials say someone poured bubble bath or soap into the water, causing the fountain to overflow. Even more disheartening, the water had been turned pink as part of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's something the state does every October.
Well, it may seem too early for holiday shopping, but you might want to start the 3 big events that can save you money.
Still to come, the temperatures that you can expect when you head out the door tomorrow morning, and I'm tracking our next chance for rain.
Channel 11 covers weather everywhere you live.
And we have the experience to get it right.
We know the unique weather patterns across our neighborhoods.
That's why it can be raining in Beaver County,
while it's dry in Westmoreland County.
Weather coverage you can count on.
You're streaming WPXI Now, your source for original local shows. Get the inside scoop on all the hot events, entertainment, and celebrities in and around Pittsburgh every week. Stream Access Pittsburgh on demand anytime on WPXI Now.
When you want news from where you live,
watch Channel 11 News at 5.
Amazon's shopping holiday Prime Day is already in full swing, and many say this is kind of the unofficial start to the holiday shopping season. And Amazon isn't the only place where you can get deals this week. Liz McLaughlin has more on where you can find some real bargains.
Good morning, Amazon's Prime Day sale is underway. The annual shopping event, delayed this year for the first time, is usually meant to be a Christmas in July.
Now it's really being perceived broadly in the retail world as the unofficial start to the holiday shopping season.
Last year, Amazon said Prime Day was the largest shopping event in its history, topping sales for Amazon's 2018 Black Friday and Cyber Monday combined.
This year, we have more deals than any Prime Day before.
Over the 48-hour sale, Amazon says it will unveil more than 1 million deals, including deep discounts on its smart home devices, such as the Echo Dot.
It's 60% off on Prime Day. It's marked down to $18.99.
But Amazon's big sale is only available to its Prime customers, who pay $120 per year for perks including 2-day shipping, leaving room for other retailers to reel in customers, now more reliant on virtual shopping due to COVID-19.
Walmart has already started. Target has already announced as well, and Best Buy, and these are all Black Friday-like sales.
This comes as Apple prepares for its virtual event today, unveiling new iPhones, with many anticipating its first 5G device.
Apple is really just trying to, get on the same competitive landscape with every other smartphone maker.
Retailers fighting to catch consumers' attention and dollars ahead of an unprecedented holiday shopping season. Liz McLaughlin, NBC News.
The Humane Animal Rescue Spay-a-thon is underway. Vets and representatives from animal welfare organizations across the area are pitching in to provide services at no cost. So they hope to spay and neuter 240 cats during the event there. That's down from last year's number of 320 because of COVID restrictions.
People let their cats outside, people move and their cat gets outside, or they were born and raised outside. And if they're not altered, they'll keep reproducing at an exponential rate.
The average numbers of kittens in a litter is 4 to 6, so nearly 5,000 kittens can be born from one unspayed cat and her offspring in 7 years.
Your severe winter Team 11 forecast.
We all know that it is a beautiful scene out there. If you haven't been able to catch some of the fall foliage, just take a drive if you haven't been seeing any colors in your neighborhood, because there are plenty to be seen. This one coming in from northwestern Pennsylvania out in Ohioville. So Brianna Page sending this one in to me today. Beautiful golds there in the trees, and she said she's on the search for red colors. So good luck. I've seen a lot of red colors out there. In fact, Joey, he sent this picture to me just recently as well, and you can see some beautiful kind of reddish orange colors on his tree there. Thanks to Joey for sending that one in. I appreciate it. Tonight, we are looking at a pretty chilly night after highs today in the mid-60s. We're looking at a 45-degree low temperature under a clear sky. Winds will lighten up overnight, so we're looking at winds breezy today, and then tonight, southwest 3 to 8 miles per hour. So chilly enough for a coat out there early tomorrow morning. Butler about 41. Some really outlying areas or rural areas may dip into the upper 30s, but it'll be close. You can see mid 40s to low 40s, the places like Greensburg, down into Washington, Uniontown, and Waynesburg as well. So chilly for all of us. Here's your morning planner. Clear sky at 6 and 7 o'clock tomorrow, 47 degrees at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock temperature at 46. And we're looking at that sunshine as the sun comes up. Some of the model data has been hinting at maybe a few high level clouds, but I do expect a lot of sunshine tomorrow. If you need to rake your leaves after the breezy days, I know that there's quite a few of them coming off the trees. It won't be long before they're completely bare. But if you need to do that leaf raking tomorrow, we're going to have that sunshine continue with temperatures a little bit warmer in the afternoon with highs near 68 degrees, which is closer to average. 68 in Washington, 68 in Uniontown tomorrow, mid-60s Butler, mid-60s in Indiana. So we're all enjoying a somewhat mild day. Morgantown, Beaver, close to 70. Enjoy it because you're looking at a map that's going to show the feels like temperatures as they animate into Friday night and Saturday morning. We've been telling you that it's going to be turning a lot colder. We have a pretty powerful weather system coming in later in the week. That's going to be bringing rain to us by Thursday evening, rain on Friday, and then as the sky clears into Saturday morning, the lows are going to dip near freezing, which puts the feels like temperature as well close to freezing, if not a few degrees below. So it's definitely going to feel a lot colder come the end of the week and weekend. Here's the 5-day forecast. Your weekend always in view. Enjoy the mild days and even a warm day there on Thursday because it's going to be changing. 52 on Friday. A couple of showers around during the day, down to 34 still into Saturday morning. I've bumped up the weekend temperatures, and the latest data has been drying things up. I know earlier we had said maybe a few flurries along the I-80 corridor. We're still tracking the potential there for Saturday, but again, the latest data kind of starting to dry things up for us. 55 Saturday, down to 38 Sunday morning, near 60 on Sunday with a mix of sun and clouds.
Danielle, thank you. And now here's local steals and deals, Lisa Robertson.
Thank you so much, guys. And I have something you're absolutely going to love. So one of the things that I have to wear pretty much all the time is readers. And I find it frustrating because here's the problem. I need to look at the boss and I need to see my paperwork. But I don't want to go here. Now I have this patent pending design just like this. This is a great idea called Bunny Eyes, and it was actually created by two sisters, Stacy and Jenny, and they named it after their late mom, Bunny, which I think is so sweet. And they designed these hinges that go like this. So now I don't have to constantly take my glasses on and off. I can put my glasses on, tilt them down, I can look at you, I can do what I need, everything's good, right? Or I do this, I'll put them this way and put them down. Oh, I just need to grab something? Oh, yeah. Okay, all good, right? You can have one side up and one side down because you're gonna lay down for a nap, no problem. By the way, these are great for men and women, and these are the ones that you've seen the celebrities wearing, like Ray J, right? You're going, hey, how do those celebrities look so great in their readers? Because they're wearing really good-looking readers. And they each come in this fabulous little pouch. So if you're tired of fighting with your readers, make sure and get something that is patent pending and nobody else has it, and that's in the bunny eyes. By the way, right now on localsteals.com, these are 25% off, so it's a great time to stock up and make your life a whole lot easier. Thank you.
Channel 11 Morning News brings you what's happening now.
4 firefighters hurt and several other people are homeless after this massive fire.
What's new?
We are keeping you up to date on changes with back-to-school plans.
Yet another big transition for these kids, parents, and teachers.
And what's next?
A major decision on stadium capacity will be announced in just a few hours.
Hour-by-hour look I promised you at the wind gust. Strongest wind gust just before lunch.
Count on Channel 11 News for live coverage every morning. Watch David Johnson and Peggy Finnegan on Channel 11 News at 5.
So there is a new kind of pineapple, and it's pink. Del Monte says it's not yellow pineapple that is dyed pink. It is actually a special fruit that they've been developing now for 5 years. Pink glow pineapples is what they're calling them, and they're said to be juicier and sweeter than regular pineapple. They take about 2 years to grow. The designer pineapple, though, comes at a price that'll set you back $49. That's a lot. The bar exam is hard, and giving birth isn't easy either.
Yeah, that's right, Peggy. So now imagine doing both at the same time. Well, an Illinois woman did not expect to be taking the rest of her bar exam at a hospital, but her baby boy had other plans. She was taking the bar remotely in her home when the unexpected happened.
I felt something. I had like a brief fleeting thought of, I really hope that's not water breaking. Cleaned myself up. I called my husband and called my midwives, and they told me I had time before I needed to go to the hospital.
And she actually finished the first part of the test at home and then completed the exam in the hospital after giving birth. Both mom and baby are doing just fine.
they will be telling that story for many years to come.
That's right.
That's all for Channel 11 News. Yep, at noon. Our next newscast comes up tonight at 5.
You can get breaking news updates anytime on our streaming apps. Just search WPXI on Apple TV, Roku, or Amazon. Have a great day.
Channel 11 News digs deeper.
The state loosening coronavirus restrictions on crowd size. We wanted to put this into perspective for you.
Some organizers, they say this change still isn't enough.
Take a look at this. Some Allegheny County voters received some bad ballots.
There's no return address, and the print on the back is largely cut off. And that's the portion that needs to be signed in order for your vote to count.
I wonder how many of these went out.
It's a question Channel 11 wanted answered, and we went right to the